Alright, so Shalom, giving all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Orcha, Quadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai Mashiach, Barakatah Yasha'Allah, Barakatah Yahweh, Kahala, Kahala, Shalom, Shalom, Halawayah, Halawayah. And to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach them well and overseeing the construction of the tabernacle of David, a more perfect tabernacle. Shalom to the Akim, while Akwaf scattered abroad. Shalom to sincere believers. So we're going to start off with 1 Peter 2 and 1. It says, wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies and envyings and evil speakings. And it says, what? As newborn babes, desiring sincere milk of the word, that what? That ye may grow thereby. It says, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Now, heavy points are in these second and third verses. Well, we're gonna focus on the second verse real quick. But it says, because as newborn babes, man, coming into this faith and coming out of the world, man, you become a new people. You're literally what? Born again in Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, man. Meaning, you're starting over. Let's get Matthew 19 real quick. Matthew 19 explains it. I think it's further down. Actually, it's like it. It's like it. So this is Matthew 18 and starting at verse 1. It says, at that same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily, meaning truly, I say unto you, except ye be converted, and what? And become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. It says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child of my name, receiveth me. Why? Because when we come out of the world, we're literally changing our whole life around. We're being born again. We're starting over afresh, man. And Yahushua Mashiach. We're putting off the ways of the world, putting off the flesh, and putting on the spiritual, putting on the truth, man. And with that, it says, except you be converted and become as little children. Why? Because a child has to grow. A child has to be nurtured. A child has to be basically taught, man. Everything, being a part of this ministry and being a part of this truth is likened unto children, because one, we have our Father, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, and then what? We have our teachers, man, who pour into us, who nourishes us, who writes us up in righteousness. And then what happens, man, when we become old enough, just like in essence is the case carnally, when we become old enough, we go out into the world and we do our own thing, you know what I'm saying? Not saying do our own thing as go off, but when the child becomes so old to stay at home, what, he goes and establishes his own way. And on the flip side, when we become old enough, what, we go and further the truth, man. We go and teach. It says, and it's about what? Being humble, man. Because children are supposed to be humble. Children are supposed to recognize that they don't really know anything, man. And that's how it is, man. Coming out of the world, man, we understand that we don't really know anything. And why? It says, then what? We desire the sincere milk of the word, man. The milk, man. The basics, man. The things that are easily digestible, man. The things that what? The things that are the foundation of our belief. The milk. The milk is very, very important. And that's the overall point of this lesson. Is that the importance of the milk, man. The milk is necessary, man. Because if you don't get the milk, and if you're not able to actually receive the milk, swallow it down, digest the milk, one, you're not gonna get nourishment, spiritual nourishment, and then two, you're not gonna what? You're not gonna grow. And if you're not able to get the milk, you're not gonna be able to get the meat, man. And the meat represents what? The more heavy things of the scriptures, man. The breakdowns of certain prophecies, the certain spiritual aspects that are not verbatim in the word, but they're revealed to mighty men in the spirit, man. And if you can't receive the milk, man, you're not gonna ever receive the meat. And then therefore, it kind of leaves you at a disadvantage as far as teaching. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really. I mean, and then, it's fine because every brother has a different portion of knowledge and every portion of faith. But what? We're supposed to grow, not supposed to remain stagnant in this truth, man. So what is the milk, man? Because like I said, if we don't get the milk, then what can, you know what I'm saying? If you don't get the milk, you're not gonna get your spiritual nourishment. You're not gonna develop, man. Two things that are very important in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahshua: being spiritually nourished and being and developing spiritually, man. So the milk, you know what I'm saying, can be explained in a lot of different ways. I know one scripture that kind of wraps it all up nice and neat. So we go to Ezekiel 3. Salakia. And I'm kind of under the weather right now, so excuse the sniffles. So this is Ezekiel 3 and 1. It says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, meaning partake, man. Eat this roll," the roll representing the whole scriptures, the totality of the scriptures, man. The perfect knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the scriptures. And go speak unto the house of Israel, man. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and what? Fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness, man. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them, man. And I feel like these scriptures kind of break down what the milk is, because why? Our whole purpose in this thing is to what? Eat this roll, man. Fill our bellies, our minds, heart, and spirits with the perfect knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and they go out and preach the word. You know what I'm saying? Because once you cause your belly to eat and fill your bowels, man, and you're nourished by this word, man, you're gonna try to keep the laws. That you're gonna come to the knowledge of that you're Israelite. Yeah, that Yahweh died for you. That Yahweh Shem Yahshua expects you to keep his law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and to what? Do the work, man. Go out on the highways and byways and preach and teach his word. All that comes with what? Eating this roll, man. When you eat the roll, you come to the knowledge of these things, man. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? Because this walk is the race is not given to the swift, man. So like I said, man, the milk can be kind of summarized in the scripture right here, man. Eat this roll, man. Take in all this knowledge, and a part of all this knowledge is what? Keeping law, statutes, and commandments, going out the highways and byways and teach. Being a good brother, being you know what I'm saying, letting your light shine, you know. Then so now that we've kind of gone into what the milk, kind of summarizing what the milk is, man, we made a heavy point in 1 Peter 2 and 3, it says, if so be you have tasted that the Lord is gracious, man, because the gift of this word, man, the gift of faith is the greatest show of mercy ever, man. Because Yahweh Shem Yahshua didn't have to do this, man. We broke the covenant, man. We went off, man, and we continue to go off. And then even when the Lord came on the scene, man, many of our people rose up against him, man. So the fact that we're even able to get the basics of the scriptures after the book was unsealed, that's a true testament the Lord's mercy that endureth, you know. So this is Isaiah 28:9. It says, um, whom shall he teach knowledge, man? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? What's the doctrine? The doctrine of Yahweh Shemi Shai, man. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, man. It's like it says, like it said in 1 Peter 2, man. Desiring the sincere word, milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. And when I came to the point, man, the milk, like just with a little baby, man. Babies always start off eating solid food, man. You got to give them milk, soft things. And then once they get ready, once they show signs, that's when you start to give them solid foods, man. That's when they graduate into doing quote unquote big boy stuff. And that's the same thing with his knowledge. You got to get the milk first. The milk is the foundation. If you don't partake in the milk and really understand what the milk is in its totality, you're not going to be able to rightly divide the word of truth, man. You're not going to be you're going to be confused, man. And that's what's wrong with a lot of these Israelite groups, man. They haven't partaken in the milk fully. They haven't partaken in the milk fully, so when they get down to the meat, man, they break the meat down wrong. Like, you ever seen somebody cut up a steak all weird and just it's just wrong, man. Totally out of order because they haven't taken in the milk in its totality. So once you're weaned from the milk, man, you know what I'm saying? You're built up to a certain point, man. You get certain strength in your bones, man. You're ready to be nourished by the meat, man. The heavier things are the scriptures, man. You're ready to go out and teach. You're ready to be amongst the brothers, man. And not only that, you'll be a proper representative of Yahweh Shemi Shai and his word because you have taken the time to take in the milk, man. You have taken the time to partake in the softer things of this truth, man. A lot of times, people, they jump into things with so much zeal that they don't take the proper time to lay the foundation, man. That's how it is. And you know what I'm saying? That's with anything, man. In sports, in the sports world, man, the fundamentals, the fundamentals are very important, man. The fundamentals, man. Let's see if we can get on that.
Fundamental.
It says, forming a necessary base or core of what? Central importance. A central or primary rule or principle on which something is based, man, the foundation. And now we know the foundation of our faith, and ultimately the foundation of our truth is Yahweh Shai, but the foundation of our knowledge is the milk that comes through Yahweh Shemi Shai. So the fundamentals is the milk, man. Like I said, brought up the analogy of the sports world, man. The fundamentals is how good somebody is with the fundamentals tells how great of a player that person is going to be. Like, for example, Tim Duncan, he was known as Mr. Fundamentals for a reason. And he's one of the greatest power forwards of all time, man, because he was fundamentally sound, man. A lot of times people just want to jump into something and be all flashy and focus on the shooting from the half court and, you know what I'm saying, doing a 360 dunk, but have you built your muscles up? What's your form like? Are you following through on your jump shot? All these certain things are very important because they lead to consistency. The fundamentals help you be consistent. And then when you don't properly when you don't properly partake in the milk, this is what happens. So this is Hebrews 5:12. It says what? For the time ye ought to be teachers, man, when you've been in this thing for a certain amount of time, and you're supposed to reach a certain point, you have to need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat, man. When you don't take the proper time to digest this milk, you don't get the milk fully, when you don't understand the milk, when you haven't digested the milk, man, you're going to go on, and later, because of that lack of fundamentals, you're going to have to come back. And that's what happens in sports, man. When somebody starts getting, beat down, or they losing too much or doing certain things, what do, man? They go back to the basics. They tighten up certain fundamentally things so they can be sound. And that's how it is, man. When you don't partake in this milk and properly digest this knowledge in the way that it's supposed to be, taking the proper avenues and channels, coming up the way that Yahweh Shemiah Shah has set this ministry up to be, you're eventually gonna have to come right back. It's how it's set up, man. And Yahweh Shemiah Shah said, anyone who comes up another way is the same as a thief and a robber. This straight gate. You can't skip certain things in a straight gate, man. You got to enter in at the door, man. You got to enter in at step number 1. And if you don't, you're going to become as one such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. And it says what? For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe, man. And this is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Just being unskillful just means you haven't reached a certain level yet. Paul isn't necessarily, speaking negatively about brothers that are at that stage where they need the milk, but in the context is talking about you're supposed to be at a different point than you are in at this point, man. You've been in this thing 10 years, and you're still talking about all nations can be saved. You've been in this thing 10 plus years, and you're talking about we're gonna live 1,000 years and then be translated. These type of guys that say, you know what I'm saying, you can call the Lord whatever you want. John the Baptist is you can call the Lord yogurt, and all these other damnable heresies. They ought to be teachers, but they have need to be taught again, man. They need the milk again, and because of that, they become unskillful in the word, because they're still even though they put in the years, they're still a babe in knowledge. It says, but strong meat belongeth to them that are full age, man, fully nourished up, man, fully built up. Even those who by reason of use have their senses what? Exercised to discern both good and evil, man. And all that is according to the word. The word is the basis of everything. So Lord, when I know this lesson was edifying, that you can understand the importance of the milk, because when you look out amongst these camps nowadays and everything that's going on in the nation of Israel, man, you just see a lot of guys that still are in need of the milk, man. You see a lot of people that have not fully digested the milk, and because of that, they go out and teach certain things, even though they're set up through Yahweh Shemiah Shah to do those things. But us brothers that are looking to be sincere and looking to not be as such as of that ilk, we have to understand that we need to take the milk seriously. And there's nothing wrong with learning the fundamentals, man. The more fundamentally sound you become, the better you'll be. So this is Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Shemiah Shah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh Shemiah Shah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That being said, hallelujah.